What if I told you that a Florida school board member goes on a racist rant? Not surprising, not at all. But part of that racist rant is about how he doesn't want to be around black people. Put him up full mask. Well, here we go. Robert Alvaro, a U.S. citizen from Cuba who serves on the school board in Clay County, Florida, recorded himself last month in a now deleted Facebook Live talking about his interactions and experiences with different racial groups in this country, specifically white and black Americans. The comments were first reported by Clay Views and News, that's according to the outlet. Robert Avero was elected to the school board in 2024. He ran on a platform that included keeping politics out of the classroom. He represents the Oak Leaf community in Clay County, Florida, whose population is damn near 25% African American. All right, so let's get into it. During the Facebook Live, the school board member said, quote, "I have had 80% more negative experiences with African American community in this country than with white people. That being said, it doesn't mean that I haven't had good experiences with African American people. I have met a lot of great African American people, and I'm still friends with them because they are good, decent people. But that's 20% of the people that I've met, African Americans. The other 80%, they've been nasty. They've been rude. They've been problematic. Always trying to fight, disrespecting. So would I want to be around people like that? No. Put her back up. So I think they know you're racist. That's why. I believe that's the reason for your experiences. So what he's referring to historically has been called the exceptional Negro. But he expanded it from 10% to 20%. So nobody can call him racist. There's more. Avero went on to say he understands, quote, where Nick Fuentes is coming from. Stop the press. Put his picture back up. Put his picture back up. He understands where known white supremacist, hater of anything of color and hater of women, Nick Fuentes is coming from. He gets it. He's not judging the white race for Nick Fuentes. He's judging the black race for the black folks he's encountered. But he understands. Nick Fuentes, white supremacist. It goes on to say, referencing a widely known far-right commentator who promotes white supremacy, misogyny, Holocaust denial on his podcast. Of course, it's called America First. Avero also shared that he sometimes feels racist against people of his own nationality and added that he, quote, learned how to be an American. So right now, I'm not even similar to my own race. Put him back up again. That's called an Uncle Tom, sir. That's what we call it here in our race. Maybe you have something similar in yours. He hates his own people. Avero later apologized and said his comments were wrong and offensive. You don't say. He says, quote, while I face some negative interactions, including being called names and even physically assaulted, I also met many good, decent people, some of whom remain my friends today. And I want to clarify that these experiences are personal and not meant to be generalized. Part of Avero's statement reads, quote, it was an attempt to say people's character is not defined by their visual characteristics, life experiences, or socioeconomic standards. We as people are divisive. And through the best of my ability, I was trying to point out how people can judge each other while not seeing both sides and how stereotypes of a whole group are not accurate. I mean, talk about a spin master. His point is, actually, guys, I was being non-racist. not racist. I was being super non-racist by bringing out racism. He goes on to say one of Avero's fellow school board members also denounced the comments, quote, appalled is probably the best way I could say it to begin with. I guess Forrest Gump said it best. You can't fix stupid, end quote. That's his colleague. Clay County School Board member Beth Clark, who serves District 3, told WTLV News Clay County faith and civic leaders demanded that the school board impose mandatory and ongoing anti-racism training and called for Avero's resignation. However, under Florida law, only the governor can remove an elected official from office. Florida Education Commissioner Kamatsas says or has requested Avero's presence at the next state Board of Education meeting that takes place on the 21st of January. He's supposed to be there to explain himself. Avero's attorney, Anthony Sabatini, pushed back against the criticism that surfaced against Avero and added that his client would not be attending the state board meeting. Quote, school board member Avero is a selfless public servant, won his election in a landslide, and is widely supported in Clay County. These radical Democrat political activists who seek to eliminate his First Amendment rights are out of step with the people of Clay County, the attorney stated. It is his First Amendment right to say racist things. That's correct. It's his First Amendment right to be bigoted in his verbal commentary. It's his First Amendment right to be a jerk. No issue there. Here's the problem. He serves in a position of public trust. He has to make policy that is race blind, or at least race neutral. He has to make policies for individuals in order to create equitable outcomes, or at least favorable outcomes. And if you start policy by way of racism, if your lens or bias is racism, how could you ever create a policy that shows fairness to everybody that you serve? And in his particular district, 25% of the folk he served happen to be individuals he said he would not want to be around. Okay. All right, your brother, thoughts here.
I mean, I'm just happy to hear that this guy was really just trying to bring us all together.
Right.
For a second there, it did sound a little racist. And I think you brought up a great point about not being able to fix stupid. One of, I think, the great indicators that this guy is maybe not the brightest bulb is when he's doing this sort of mathematical like presentation that's 80%, but actually 20% are really good. And it's like, I would call that in psychoanalysis, there's a term called reaction formation, where you're kind of doing the opposite of what the actual truth is. And when actual morons try to sound smart, I think they invoke these kinds of numbers. And then he goes and goes, actually, no, I wasn't generalizing. No, that's exactly what you did when you said it's 80% of Black people. And you know it. Also, defending this guy by saying he won in a landslide in Florida, I don't think is the win that they maybe think it is. Like, of course, this guy won in a landslide. I'm also not into online gambling, but if there is a bet going on about whether DeSantis will kick this guy out, I will take money on him not doing.
Right, exactly, 100%.